Greetings. My name is Russell Drake. I'm your first vice president of the Democratic Black Caucus of Florida. I now present myself to serve as president of your Black Caucus as well. I'm running on a platform called Let's Build Black Power. Economic, political, social, and educational. Let's build. Only through building black power will the DBCF be able to flourish to its maximum potential. Now I'm running overall because there's a need for change. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for the people. I want to represent the people, and I think the people deserve better in every sense. There's a need for effective communication. There's a need for solid infrastructure. There's a need for more energy and a greater voice for the people. As I said, I have served as your first vice president for the last 2 years. And I've done so strongly and boldly. Some would say that I've taken things on my own accord to represent the people. And in some instances, I will agree. I've worked to make sure that I meet the needs of every person in the Black Caucus. I've let no pettiness, no rumors, or any messiness come in the way of working to serve the people. And that's what I intend to do as president as well. I want to restore the focus to the black part of the Democratic Black Caucus. Many times we get caught up in the democratic function, and if we get too caught up in it, then we lose our relevance. What is our purpose? Why are we here? In 1983, the late Morris Milton Sr. and crew founded this organization so he could service the black community, so we could push up black issues, so we could push up black potential leaders, so we can have districts where we can represent. I'm not a native of Florida. I'm from Gary, Indiana. I went to Howard University. I've been in Florida now for 17 years. I'm the exact same age as the late Morris Milton Sr. when he founded this organization and was the first president. I'm 1 year younger than Mayor Andrew Gillum, who really should be our governor right now. I have experience. I've led different groups, from fraternal organizations to civic groups. I just led our local Orange County Black Caucus. Built it up from the ground up, from a membership of 12 and 1 elected official to a membership of over 120 and 25 elected officials. Have worked multiple campaigns. Want to bring the good things we did in Orange County all over the state of Florida. Many of that has been implemented already. If you look at our state website, you'll see it mirrors many of the things we've done in Orange County as a group. So I've pushed things up, been able to hit the ceiling of what I can do in this capacity. Now I want to move the organization forward. You know, there have been rumors spreading about me, so I'm doing this video so people can see me as a person. I've been in church all day today for Father's Day. By the way, happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the world, and happy Father's Day to those who stand in the gaps of fathers in any capacity. My goal is to move this organization to the next level, take it higher and higher. See, I want to be an inclusive president. That means utilizing all the wisdom, knowledge, experience, and talent we have within this Black Caucus to move us forward. It's good to get outside help when we need it, but we have so much talent that we're not utilizing nor showcasing that we need to be doing. And I think we do an injustice in doing so. In the same breath, I want to pay homage to the history that we have of this organization. Again, the concept came in 1981, but then the organization was chartered in 1983. So that means we'll be 40 years old in 4 years. And the need to have more efficient planning, we should be working on our 40-year celebration right now. If elected in the first 90 days, I intend to work on not just create a 2-year plan, but work towards a 10-year strategic plan. We'll also fill all the committee chairs positions that aren't filled right now, mind you. And also add a co-chair to each committee. There'll be timely notice of meetings. There'll be agendas sent out in advance. On top of that, the conference planning will start right after this conference. Our conference happens in 6 days, but we need to know where the conference is going to be by the end of August. There shouldn't be any secret or miscommunication or lack thereof. This is a power organization. There's no other group in the state of Florida that's a statewide organization that has the name Black in the title. There's no other organization in the state of Florida within the Democratic Party that encompasses a magnitude of blacks that we do. And because this is the Black Caucus, it's not limited. See, we include everybody from the African diaspora. So it's not the African American, it's the black. That means we encompass everybody who may be Haitian American, Caribbean American, Black Puerto Rican, Black Mexican, Black Cuban, Black Brazilian, everybody that identifies with being black. And when we do that, see, it makes us stronger. And we know the diversity because we're not a monolithic group. So I say to you again, let's build black power. Building black power is the vision. The Bible says in the book of Matthew, without vision, the people will perish. And if that's the case, then we need a strong vision. So how do we build black power? I'm going to tell you, we start economically. Economics is the key. By refocusing on economics, we start at the base level of teaching financial literacy and hosting courses across the state about it. See, we are economically oppressed, but we also oppress ourselves on occasion by not being financially literate. There'll be a renewed focus on saving, knowing the difference between assets and liabilities, investing, credit, life insurance, working to attain scholarships and understanding that education is financial as well, knowing your worth, and not being utilized for free. When we refocus on economics, it'll help with everything. It'll help reduce poverty. It'll help reduce violence. Goal for August, when we're helping with these back-to-school giveaways, instead of giving out backpacks and blank sheets of paper, we need to be giving out books talking about financial literacy. Whether it's a book like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or another book that somebody else has. That's what we need to give out so we can educate our people. Economics is the key. By putting that thrust on economics, it will pave the way for political, social, and educational growth and matriculation. That's it. And there is no other group across this state of Florida that focuses on financial literacy for blacks. So let that be our first thing that we're targeting in this new theme of Let's Build Black Power. Secondly, in the political sense, it's all in the strategy and the relationships. We need to leverage our relationship with the Legislative Black Caucus, and it has 28 members in it. We need to bring them to the table at our executive board. If you look at our bylaws, it actually says that members of the Legislative Black Caucus, these state elected officials, as well as those elected to Congress, should be automatic members of our executive board. So we need to bring them to the table. We need to meet with them, dialogue, come up with solutions, and truly come up with a black agenda. And coming up with that black agenda, then we'll be able to form policy. Now is the time to talk about policy, bills, or acts that we want pushed from the state level, and appropriations that we want pushed down to assist in the black community. Now is the time. So we forge that communication and we forge that relationship. We also have to be mindful and support these folks when they are running for re-election, or the good candidates that we may have trying to come up the ranks. And no, I'm not saying we have to support people because they're black. No, we have to support people because they're genuine to the issues that we support. And that being the case, that moving us to the social. There are many social issues that we have listed as a black caucus. We care about affordable health care. We care about affordable housing. We care about stopping this school to prison pipeline that has continued for decades. We care about criminal justice reform in every sense. We care about people having the right to choose if they want to have abortions or not. Yes, we want people to have a choice. But what we don't do is take hard stances. See, right now is not the time to be wishy-washy. If someone asks, hey, what's the stance? Where do you all stand on this? They shouldn't have to ask. It should be known. We have to be proactive in letting people know what our stances are. Put them in a form of resolutions. And when an immediate issue comes out, we need to release a memo immediately. Timeliness is of the matter. And when we're doing this immediately, we need to leverage our friends who are in the black media. We need to acknowledge, we need to empower them and give our stories to our black media. That's how you pick up the black media. And when you pick up the black media, you pick up the black community. In the same breath, we need to make sure that we're enforcing people to support our black businesses. See, as blacks, we're 13% of the population in the United States of America, but we're the top spenders in the nation, spending over $1.5 trillion a year, yet only putting 2% towards black businesses. Yes, now we're seeing the issue. This economic, again, adds to everything. Adds to the political, adds to the social. And then lastly, but not least, in the educational sense. In the educational sense, see, there's room for education on our own accord as well as educating the community. Everything we do, we want to do is to be community education. We got to watch how we take it to them. Now, in doing that, we need to leverage all the latest technologies, from social media to the web. And it takes each one to reach one and teach one. So we need to share it with our different groups, with our different communities, with our churches, with our fraternities and sororities. We need to share it. In the same breath, with education, with regards to school system, we need to combat, again, the school to prison pipeline. But in doing so, we need to have an educational roundtable. In having that educational roundtable, we need to bring our members to the table who work in school boards. I know in Orange County, we have at least 2 school board members. I know in Manatee County, we have at least 1 school board member. In Pinellas County, I think we may have an aspiring school board member. But around the state, we have several folks who are educators, school board members. We need to bring to the table, get the conversation forward. Perhaps take a solid stance on where we need to go with education and supporting of public education. And perhaps if we need to strategize and work on something with charter schools. We see where the dollars are going in the legislature. So we may need to get some charter schools that we can run so we can teach our children in there as well. Again, let's build black power. Our theme for our conference is happening next week is Let's Win in 2020 and Beyond. And while that may sound good, it doesn't say anything about black. And we're a black caucus. Worse than that, it doesn't say anything about 2019. When in the city of Orlando, we have elections that happen in November. In St. Petersburg, they have elections that happen in November. Other places in the state have these municipal elections that occur. So while we want to jump to 2020 and presidential election is important, we can't forget about local. All politics is local. My thing is, let's support all the people that we have internally, locally, starting locally, and then work our way out. The presidential election is very important, and we need to review that and see who we're going to support. But if somebody's not coming to the table with an economic plan, with some economic solutions, and people are trying to sell us short, don't want to support our black media and our black businesses, although they're raising millions of dollars in 1 week, record-breaking, shattering records every day, then we have a problem. Yes, we want to work with the Florida Democratic Party, and we want to work with all the different caucuses, but we want respect. We don't just want to be sitting at the table. No, we want to have true input and true voice at the table and true ideas. We're going to push our agenda. Furthermore, politically, we want to work to endorse these statewide candidates. We did a power move in endorsing a governor candidate last year for the first time. That was wonderful. We missed the mark on announcing who we endorsed by 2 months, though. We have to be more time because that window of opportunity is only available for a certain moment. In the same breath, we need to work to endorse other statewide candidates as well. Then we have synergy across the state. Then it helps us so we can formulate these slate cards on a unified front from our Democratic Black Caucus of Florida. Together, everybody accomplishes more. We're at nearly 28 chapters in the state of Florida. Let's all of us get on the same page. Let's build Black power. And if anybody can dispute the notion of let's build Black power, this may not be the caucus for them. But this is the caucus that I believe we should have focus on let's build Black power. I believe this is the caucus that the late Morris Milton Sr. and the other folks that chartered this organization that they wanted. They had a strong relationship with the NAACP, with the late Morris Milton Sr. being an NAACP president of 10 years. He also sat on his board of directors for his urban league in Pinellas County. If you look at the list of charter members of the Democratic Black Caucus of Florida, you'll even see that the Leon County NAACP is a charter member of this caucus. So we have a tight relationship with them. So it is a travesty that our state conference this year is overlapping the state conference of the NAACP. We have to communicate and plan better than that. No, we didn't overlap the leadership blue. No, we didn't overlap the Young Democrats. But it is bad to overlap the NAACP. They've been there with us the whole time. Many of us are members, including myself, who've been a member my entire life. Nonetheless, we are going to move forward to Tampa. We're going to push this conference. We want people to come. We have opportunities for people to learn and grow. And I know some of you are saying, you're talking good, but you just want to get in office. I actually don't. See, if I were trying to be complicit in it, I would just wait things out and say, I can wait 2 years and walk into the president position. But that's not the practice that I've preached. I've continually preached when there is a time for change, the time is always now. Yes, we do things strategically, but if you can move stuff forward, we need to move forward in the present. Going back to the late Morris Milton Sr., who chartered this organization, first president, 1983, big vision, big dream. But 3 years later, he passed away. Passed away at 42 years of age after putting everything into it. If he waited 3 more years, would there even be a Democratic Black Caucus? Let us pause and consider. We don't know the time nor the hour. So the time is always now to do what's right. The time is always now to make a change. So my name is Russell Drake. You can learn more about me at my website of DrakeForDBCFlorida.com. Again, DrakeForDBCFlorida.com. I am not on the slate. I wasn't on the slate 2 years ago. I wasn't on the slate 2 years before that. That means you have to write me in. And I like that. I love that. That gives the people an opportunity to nominate. That gives the people the ability to evaluate. And that gives the people the opportunity to vote for Russell Drake one more time. You've entrusted me as your first vice president, and I've completed the R6 Power Initiative to re-energize, re-educate, rebuild, re-engage, and reinvest and relate. You've trusted me as the Orange County branch president. We've built this chapter up that was feuding for a while to be the largest chapter in your state. I now ask you to trust me to deliver again as your president. Vote Russell Drake on June 22nd in Tampa, Florida at our 37th state conference. Have a blessed day. One love.